Welcome to the tip channel. That is perfection.
Chapter 5. Okay, finally, yay! You got a customer that wants to do business with you. So now, what's the next step? The next step is paperwork, paperwork, paperwork. You have to have a contract. That contract has to say the door style. It has to say the wood species. If your manufacturer's offering different edge profiles and what have you, it needs to state them. It needs to state whether or not handles are included. It needs to state what you're doing in regards to the install. If you're moving the sink location, moving the range location, or if you're rehooking up those things in the existing location, it needs to spell out everything that you're doing for that job. I also have the customer sign the drawing. Not every drawing, just the floor plan. That's my gospel. It's got all the dimensions of the cabinet. You have to explain to them, you are not responsible for measurements. Something doesn't fit, that's on me. What you're signing is this is the layout that we've agreed on and that you're comfortable with. The price breakdown, where I've shown them the cost of the cabinets, the cost of the installation, the tax, the whole 9 yards. You get them to sign that. Again, paperwork, paperwork, paperwork. You know, it's unfortunate. Back in my day, we did business on a handshake. Today, even an ironclad contract people can get out of. Now, keeping in mind also, regardless of whatever amount of paperwork that you have, legally, a client has 3 days to change their mind. So don't pull the trigger the very next day and get everything ordered. You want to wait a couple days on ordering everything because, like I said, they do have a chance to change their mind, and you have no other opportunity but to return their deposit. In regards to deposits, absolute minimum half down. Now, a lot of the lumber yards, they order a kitchen, they got to pay 100% up front. So half down is a very bare minimum. I'm a custom manufacturer, so I've got to buy all my product up front. I'm 75% down and 25% on completion. If you do the 50%, what you want to do is write your contract like this. I want half down. When I come out to start your install, it's 25% and then 25% on completion. In your contract, you want the terminology of substantial completion, okay? These two things are going to protect you a little bit. Number one is you got 50% down, you got 25% on delivery. Now, at this point, you've probably covered the cost of that kitchen. If you get stuck for that last 25%, you've probably still at least covered costs. So the only thing you're leaving out there is 25%. Now, contract, substantial completion. If you get out there and there's a little scratch in the door or something that they're not happy with, then you tell your client like this: our contract is substantial completion. That door to replace is going to cost me about $100. I will get that ordered today for you. You want to go ahead and hold $500 until we're completed, that's fine. But your substantial completion, I take the time even when I'm signing the contract to explain what that is, so they know immediately. If you see something that's very small, don't hold the whole 25%. Hold $500 or something until I come back. I totally understand. You've had contractors burn you in the past, but that's very important to keep that type of stuff in your contract. Now you've sold the kitchen. Now it's time to order your kitchen. Now, this is one of the most important things in regards to your business. If you're working for somebody else, you could naturally lose your job if you keep making mistakes on ordering cabinetry. You are the one to sit down with a client, so regardless if you're working with somebody else, they're going to want you to actually order things in. So, very important part of the process. A lot of times, what I will actually do is ask the client to come back out again. I like to just double check all my measurements, make sure they're right. You may go out, you might say, oh geez, there's a air duct here I didn't think about. or what have you, that, oh, wow, I got the refrigerator over here, there's switches, I got to deal with that. So it gives you a final chance to look over everything to make sure that it's fine. When you come back in and you sit down and you review your floor plan, you want to double check, triple check all your dimensions to make sure that they are right. When you go to order, you want to make sure you have the right door style, the right wood species. Make sure you order that sink base with the butt doors. People hate that center style. My rule of thumb is, if it's 36 inches, don't order it with the center style, order it with butt doors. Over 36 inches, you need that for shelf support, so do order it with the center style. So there's a lot of different things that goes into ordering a kitchen to make sure that you're ordering the right stuff. If you're buying other things like corbels or things from a different supplier, you may need to remember to order stain to match the existing cabinetry that they're purchasing. Also, never fail to order a touch-up kit. Very important. Now, touch-up kit, if your installer's out on the job and he sees a little scratch or what have you, or he's putting up the crown molding or just a little bit of a gap in the crown, he can touch that up very easily with a touch-up kit. Touch-up kit normally will have a magic marker that's the same color as the stain that's on the cabinet. Or if you got it painted white, it's going to be a white marker. And it's typically going to have a crayon, if you will. Now, crayon's great if you're filling gaps, and naturally the touch-up marker is great for a scratch. Or if you're doing crown moldings and things, myself, what I do is I take the marker and I hit the saw cut on the crown. Whenever the two pieces go together, it's amazing, that little bit of color back in that gap, things just disappear. So touch-up cut kit is very, very important. You also want to remember to order toe kick material to cover up that toe kick of the cabinet. I myself like to sell and provide shoe base for the cabinets. Shoe base is like a little piece of quarter round, and the customer's typically changing and putting a new floor in. So it gives them something that's matching the cabinets. It's making that job professional. Again, keeping in mind the job you sell today is tomorrow's job. You get a client that's been recommended by another person, that's almost a positive sell right there. No work whatsoever. So I can't tell you how many times customers said, oh man, this guy did such a horrible job for me, yada, yada, yada. If you do a good job for somebody, they will tell 10 people. If you do a bad job for somebody, they're going to tell 100 people. So keeping in mind, this is your reputation on the line. You want to do the very best job for your client. You want to follow through to the end of the project, make sure they're happy. If there's anything that needs to be addressed, again, that word of mouth is one of the biggest advertisers that you can have. That completes chapter 4. I hope that you're finding this informative, and if you are, please like and subscribe.